Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Myself Parag Dambulkar. In this video, we will see how to handle errors during file operations in C++ programming language. So in C++ programming language, we have one integer flag, and this integer flag it is defined in iOS class. So see, this flag provides different bits. So see, in this flag we have different bits, those stands for different meaning. So see, one bit is bad bit, another bit is fail bit, third bit good bit, and fourth bit EOA bit or end of bit. What is the meaning of this? So see, bad bit is set to 1 when there is a fatal error, otherwise it is 0. Fail bit is set to 1 when there is non-fatal error, otherwise it is 0. Good bit is set to 1 when there is no error, otherwise it is 0. Last is EOA bit or end of bit. This is set to 1 when file pointer reaches to end of the file, otherwise it is set to 0. So see, here we have talked about fatal input output error and non-fatal input output error. So what is the meaning of fatal error and non-fatal error? So see, whenever there is a fatal error, bad bit will be set to 1. And when there is a non-fatal input output error, at that time fail bit is set to 1, right? So what is the meaning of fatal input output error and non-fatal input output error? So see, we have some examples, and from that it will be very clear. Fatal error, it is serious error and it occurs when file cannot be opened. So see, again I am repeating. So whenever file cannot be opened, at that time there will be fatal error. So see, this fatal error cannot be recovered and we must have to terminate because file is not getting opened. So we cannot perform any operations, right? So this is called as a fatal error. Fatal error, it is the serious error. It cannot be recovered and we have to terminate. Examples. So see, when file cannot be opened, so see, there may be some issue with the file, or access is denied, or there is disk failure or corruption. So because of some reasons, file is not getting opened. And if file is not getting opened, so this is the fatal error. Now see, non-fatal error. So this is not that much serious compared to the fatal error. It can recover. So see, fatal error cannot be recovered, but non-fatal error can be recovered. Some examples. So see, when we have reached end of the file, or when file pointer has reached to the end of the file, and after end of the file we are trying to read, so that is a non-fatal error. How can we recover this? So see, we can check the state whether we have reached to the end of the file or not, and by that we can recover from this error, right? Then if we are trying to read incorrect or invalid data from the file, so see, if it is invalid data or incorrect data, so in that case what we can do, we can ignore that data, right? We can skip that data. So such kind of errors are the non-fatal error or non-serious error. So see, whenever there is a fatal input output error, bad bit will be set to 1, otherwise it is 0. When there is non-fatal input output error, fail bit will be set to 1, otherwise it is 0. When there is no error, then good bit will be set to 1, otherwise it is 0. And lastly, EOA bit, that is the end of bit. If we reach to the end of the file, EOA bit will be set to 1, otherwise it is 0. Now see, these bits are the part of integer flag, which is provided by iOS class. Now, how we will come to know whether these bits are set to 1 or not? So for that purpose, we have different functions, and those functions names are very simple. See, for bad bit, we have bad function. For fail bit, we have fail function. For good bit, we have good function. And for EOA bit, we have EOA function. So see, here we have the name. So see, bad function, fail function, good function, and EOA function. So see, it is very simple. When bad bit is set, so at that time this function will return true value or non-zero value. So when bad bit is set, this function will return true value, otherwise it will return false value. Same thing for fail function. So see, when fail bit is set to 1, fail function will return true, otherwise it will return 0. When there is no error, so good bit will be set to 1, right? At that time this good function will return non-zero value, that is true value, otherwise it will return false value. And lastly, EOA function. So when file pointer is reached to the end of the file at that time your bit will set to 1, right? So at that time your function will return non-zero value, that is true value. Otherwise it will return false value. Keep in mind all these functions have return type int, right? So see, when these functions return non-zero value, that means it is true, and when these functions return 0, that means they are returning false value. Now we will see how to use these functions in C++ program. So see, here I have one simple program. Here you can see, here I am opening this txt file, and what I am doing, I am reading from this file. I have opened this file in input mode. Here I am calling all these functions. So see, here I am calling bad function, fail function, UF function, good function, and how we are calling it? By using object of fstream class, right? So by using object of fstream class, we are calling these functions. After that, we are reading content from the file. So here we are checking whether bad bit is set. If it is set, that means there is a fatal error. Fatal error means file cannot be opened, right? So that message here we are showing, right? If there is no fatal error, right? So that means file is getting opened, right? Okay. Now see, next we are checking whether fail bit is set or not. If there is no non-fatal error, that means we can read from the file, right? Here see, here we have negation. So here we are checking whether fail bit is set or not. If it is not set, that means there is no error. So here we are reading from the file, right? And when we have reached to the end of the file, so here we are calling EOF function, and if it returns true or non-zero value, that means we have reached to the end of the file, right? So here we are calling break. So if it is end of the file, we will come outside the loop. Otherwise, we will print that character onto the screen. Now we will run this program. So see, here we are compiling it first. Okay, no compilation error. Okay, so see, here we have run it. So see, output of bad function, fail function, UF function and good function. So see, output is 0, 0, 0 and 1 because there is no error, right? And also we have not reached to the end of the file. That's why these are 0 and good function it is returning 1. That means good bit is set to 1 and all other bits, bad bit, fail bit, UF bit, those are set to 0, right? And then we are reading content from the file. What is the content? I love my country. So that is the content that we have read from the file. So in this way, here we have seen how to handle errors during file operation in C++ programming language. I will provide this Word file and program in my Udemy course. You can download it from the resources. Okay, so we will meet in next video. Thank you.